Hello, fabulous entrepreneur. It's Tash Corbin here, and welcome to another episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 186. So all the links and show notes can be found at tashcorbin.com/186. In today's episode, we're going to be doing some myth busting, and in particular, I'm going to be busting some myths about what it takes to get started in the online business world and get success happening really quickly. So if you are in the startup phase of business, you're still not getting consistent clients in just yet, maybe you're thinking about getting a business started, this is going to be a really juicy episode for you. Let's jump straight in. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. Okay, so myth number one about getting a business started is that you need to spend money to make money. Now, this is a very old school model of business. And if you think about, starting a business back in the 70s, even the 80s, even the 90s, if you wanted to start a business, you needed to have stock and branding and a truck and all sorts of things. You needed an office. Yes, there were some things you needed to invest in order to be able to get that business off the ground. That just isn't the case these days. And particularly with online service-based businesses, you can start those things on a shoestring budget. When I first started my business, I had a very, very small budget to get started. And I was making money in my business before I spent money in my business. Before I had a website, before I had spent money on branding. I think the first thing I did before I started a business was I went and got a photo shoot done, and it was $300, and it was a friend of mine who did it for me. And I didn't even need that to get started, really. So if you want to start a business and you're waiting to save up money and have a budget and have the money set aside for it, I just want to let you know that you don't need to be investing big amounts of money in order to be successful in your business. In fact, a lot of the women in the Takeoff program, which is my signature program, helping women get started in business online, invest the money in purchasing the Takeoff program, and they don't spend another cent on getting their business off the ground until they're earning a consistent $2,000 or $3,000 a month. And that's a really beautiful thing, to be able to access those sales and get that money coming in where before you have to actually invest any money in that business online. You do not need to have a lot of money. In fact, I think that if I had more money to start my business, I would have spent it, but it wouldn't have got me any more results in my business. I once worked with a VIP client who had saved up $180,000 to start her online coaching business, and she was down to her last $5,000 in the bank when she came and worked with me. She had spent $175,000 of her $180,000 budget getting this business off the ground, and she still didn't have consistent clients coming in. She invested in working with me one-to-one, and the strategies we used cost her nothing, and she had a 10K month just 2 months later. That is what I'm talking about when I talk about lean startup. So myth number one is you need to spend money to make money. Totally busted. Myth number two, you need to work long hours, hustle and grind, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to bed at 1 a.m. in order to be successful in your business. And actually, not only is this a myth, I would say it's a very unhealthy way to start a business, because you are training your business on how much time it needs from you in order for you to sustain it. So why not train your business that it gets 40 hours or less a week from you, rather than trying to, telling yourself, I'm going to work 60-hour weeks just for now until it gets off the ground, and then I'm going to taper it back. Often it's harder to stop those habits of staying up and working up late, or putting lots and lots and lots of hours into your business, and you're creating strategies that require lots of time. So when I first started my business, I did the 60-hour week thing for probably 4 to 6 weeks. And then I just had this huge epiphany. I was like, I didn't start a business to work 60 hours a week. I started a business so that I could have a life at the same time. And so I created this big boundary around the hours that I worked in my business. I cut it back to 34 hours a week, so it was less than the job that I had left. And to be honest with you, I think that's part of the reason why I became so productive and effective in my business, was because I wasn't working all hours. I mean, think about it. Parkinson's law, a project will expand to take up the time that you give it. Your workday will expand to take up the time that you give it as well. Even if you've got a day job, or you're working full time and you're starting your business on the side, you do not need to be staying up past midnight working on that business. And in fact, you're burning yourself out and you end up being less effective anyway. So let's bust that myth once and for all. You do not need to be working all hours and hustling and grinding and and wanting it more than others wanted, any of that kind of stuff, in order to get a business off the ground. In fact, why not start your business in the way that you mean to move forward? So if it's your dream to start a business and be working 20 hours a week, why not set that boundary up from now? You don't work more than 20 hours a week in your business. And particularly if you're doing it on the side of a day job, one of the things that I say to people who have a business and they have a job at the same time is you should be hiring staff in your business, team member, VA, someone, to start taking over jobs from you earlier than if someone has that, doesn't have a day job, or they don't have kids as well, by the way. If you have kids, you also want to be hiring help, whether it's in your business or at home. You want to hire that help earlier because you want to keep those nice boundaries around your time. Yes? Do we agree? Yes? Good. Okay. Number 3 myth, it takes over a year for a business to be profitable. Don't expect to be getting paid by your business. Pooey, whatever. I think it was the 3rd month of my business started paying our rent at home. And I was super proud of my business to do that. And I was super excited to get to that level of profitability that quickly. Particularly, again, with service-based businesses, your expenses are pretty low. You can be taking a salary out of your business way faster, and you can be doing it very quickly and easily. So let go of that belief. A lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I've been in my business 9 months, it hasn't paid me anything yet, but businesses take over a year to be profitable. It's like, let's wipe that one out. Who says that businesses need to take a year to be profitable? Again, that's a very old school model of business that requires that extra time to get profitable. You can be profitable in your business really quickly. And I know people who've started a business, got their first couple of VIP clients within the first month, and they've taken a couple of grand out of their business in the first month of running it. That is totally possible. So let's not create that limiting belief that we need lots and lots of time before the business becomes profitable. You can be really profitable really quickly. Number 4 myth about starting a business is you need to start with something that's cheap, affordable, low end first. So the first step to creating business is write a book and sell 1,000 copies at $20 each. Or the first step to creating a business is create a really low end course and get lots and lots and lots of students. The work that's required to get those lots and lots of students and the audience that you need to get lots and lots of students is way bigger than the audience required to sell one VIP package to one great client. So yes, there are multiple pathways to creating business success and getting your startup off the ground, but the one of selling low end first for a lot of people is not the smart strategy. It can work. If you've got a big budget in particular to get those Facebook ads out there, it can be very effective. But if you don't have a big budget to get out there and get in front of those thousands of people that you need in your audience, then generally I suggest that you start at the high end first, i.e. working VIP one-to-one with people. Number 6 myth is that you need a website or a logo or a business name or photos or something, some random thing in order to be ready to start launching your business and getting clients. I once had someone who joined my program, my takeoff program, and she said, this is the business that I'm going to be starting. And when she started talking about the service, I was like, oh my gosh, my sister totally needs that. How can I buy us a couple of sessions for my sister? And she's like, oh no, I haven't launched the business yet. I was like, well, what are we waiting for? Let's launch it. What do you need to launch? She's like, no, I'm going to spend 6 months getting all my ducks in a row, starting to create excitement. I was like, That would be so annoying to me. Like, it is annoying to me as a customer. I just said, how can I give you money? And you've said, no, you have to wait 6 months until I've launched this business properly with all of my perfectionism and all my ducks in a row. Now you're making me wait. Like, no, I don't want that. Like, why wouldn't you take the money today? So you may have been told by someone you need a website in order to take money, those sorts of things. What I'm here to say is let's just bust that myth. It is totally myth. You don't need all of those things in order, or any of those things in order to be able to earn income in your business. In fact, I actually had someone, she was in the Takeoff program as well. And one of the things we do in the Takeoff program is we do interviews, target market research interviews. And for 3 weeks in a row, she'd come to the live support call and said, haven't done any target market interviews yet. I'm still waiting to get some things sorted. And in the third time she said that to me, I was like, can I just check in with you? What are these things you need to get sorted before you're doing your target market interviews? And she said, my husband told me, what if I ask people to do interviews and they say, can I check out your website? And I don't have one. I don't look like I'm a legitimate business because I don't have a website yet. And I said to her, I was a bit cheeky, did Richard Branson call your husband for business advice last week? She's like, no. I said, did Elon Musk call your husband for business advice last week? She said, no. I was like, well, you don't need to ask your husband for business advice either. He is looking at the world of business through his lens. And just because your husband thinks a website makes a business legitimate does not mean that everyone in the world thinks a website makes a business look legitimate. Also, you're asking people to do market research interviews through your connections and the Facebook groups that you're in. And if people say, yeah, I'm totally happy to help you, do you have a website? You can say, I don't have one yet. And either they'll say, oh, okay, maybe I don't want to do it. They're not people you want to be interviewing. The people that you want to be interviewing are the people who don't need you to have all the bells and whistles in order for them to see that you've got something of value. So it's this beautiful aha moment for her. It's like, oh, I'm going to stop asking my husband for business advice. I actually have a little Facebook post that I put up every now and then that says, does Richard Branson ask your mum for business advice? No? Then you don't have to ask your mum either. Because we do look for people around us to legitimize and, give us, that credibility in our businesses and give us feedback. And often we're asking for feedback in the wrong places. So if you think that you have to wait and get a website or you have to create a fancy business name, you don't even need to do that. Even if your plans are to create this giant agency and or have a fancy business name at some point, you can start by starting a business that has just your name as its name. Tash Corbin may become Tash Corbin Agency one day. I don't know. It might. I don't think it will, but it might. But it doesn't need to have a fancy business name. And if I choose to rebrand and have a business name at some point, I can choose to do that. But the fastest, most effective way to get your business off the ground is call it your name and let's just get started. You don't have to register your name as a business name in order to start using it. You can get a business number with your name. You don't have to have a business name to do that. So let's just let go of all these bells and whistles that people have been telling us we need, or we've been making it up in our head that we need before we're allowed to start making money in our business. You can make money today. All right, lovely lady, there are my 6 myths that I've busted about getting a business off the ground. If you are getting a business off the ground and you would like to get it off the ground quickly, I want to let you know about a little free training that I've got that you can access absolutely free by heading over to the show notes of today's episode. It's called Fast Track Your Startup. And in this training, I go through the more of those myths about what you need to get your business off the ground. And I give you practical, tangible strategies of the things you do need to get sorted in order to get your business off the ground quickly and start making money fast. If you want to get your business growing faster, you want to get it off the ground and to that sustainable profitability, go and check out Fast Track Your Startup. It's over with the show notes at tashcorbin.com/186. Until next time, beautiful lady, I cannot wait to see you shine. Big love from me and bye for now. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.